So how do you get awesome sounding, banging mixes that will get you more listens and likes across all your social networks? Well, I'm going to show you how in this quick and easy tutorial right now. Hi, what's up? Artie here from the SKYE-SKYELAB Music Group, bringing you the best pro tips and advice for music producers, artists, and engineers to help you propel your music and your career to the next level. On this channel, we do a lot of tips and strategy videos, as well as tech reviews. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Let's dive into the video. So your production is awesome. You know your song is a hit. Your vocals are amazing, but somehow your mixes are falling short, and you know they're not quite up to the level that you know they should be. It's something producers, artists, and engineers battle with every day on every song. Many, many moons ago, back in the days of analog, I had my first unexpected hit record. It hit #1 on the Billboard charts, the single went platinum, so I started getting calls from all over. But I knew my mixing skills weren't quite up to the level of the other top mix engineers out there. Not yet. But this was my big shot to get to the next level, so I had to get real good, real fast. So I sat down with an incredible engineer and friend of mine, Bruce Miller, who I used to assist for back in the days at Quad Studios. What Bruce taught me in a 10-minute conversation had such an impact on me, it forever changed the way that I approach mixing. Through the years, I've adopted my own approach to this and refined what works for me now in the digital age. And that's what I'm about to teach you.
So what is it?
Get ready, it's the big reveal. It's the real art of A-B. A-Bing is simply comparing your mix to other mixes of the same genre and style. But to really take advantage of this technique, you have to know how to do it right. So what does that mean exactly? That means breaking the sonic spectrum down into 7 different categories and using your ears, your eyes, and your critical listening skills to really analyze the sound. But there is one vital step you must take before comparing your mix to your reference tracks. But we'll get to that in a minute. So the 7 areas we're going to analyze are: 1, overall feel. Is it dark, bright, heavy, light, purple, watery? Whatever terms you want to use, as long as you know what that means to you. Number 2, kick and bass. Low end. Is it tight or is it loose? Is it punching you in the chest or is it just rumbling along and making your feet vibrate? 3, stereo, spread. Width. How wide is the entire mix? How wide is each instrument? Are things panned to the left, to the right? Mono, down the center. Number 4, depth of field, reverb. Which instruments are close and in your face and which instruments are way back there? Number 5, high end. Are the hi-hats sizzling? Are the acoustic guitars ringing with harmonics? Or are they choked and muted? Are the sawtooth synths buzzing? Or are they filtered down? 6, vocals. Where are they sitting in the mix? Are they bright or are they dark? Are they wide or are they narrow? Are they full dynamic range or squished kind of small? And 7, overall mix compression. The degree of pumping, the degree of parallel compression on each individual track, as well as the mix as a whole. While this is more popular in EDM music, it's finding its way into pop music as well. So listen for it. If it's hard now for you to really dissect a mix like this, don't worry. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And that's how you develop your ear and your critical listening skills. And like I said earlier, there's one vital step you must take before you begin comparing your mixes to your reference tracks. And that step is limiting. Putting a limiter across your stereo bus. Let me explain why. When comparing our mix to a commercially released song on Spotify, iTunes, or a CD, we have to be aware that those songs have already been mastered while ours hasn't yet. And comparing a mastered mix to an unmastered mix is just an unfair comparison. So I've built up a custom master chain of 7 plugins I use across my stereo bus to start off with. The settings are fairly neutral. I save it as a preset in my channel strip, and I pop that baby on there whenever I need it. But to make things simple for you, and for our purposes here, the important ones are the limiter, the frequency analyzer, and the loudness meter. Okay, so let's dive into the computer, and I'm going to show you how I use these plugins. First, I bring my mix to a point I'm comfortable with. So here's my current mix without the limiter. Okay, you can notice the way the CQ curve over here is sloped a little downward. So now I'm going to put my L3 limiter on and adjust the threshold down until my loudness meter reads -8 to about -10. And I'm going to adjust my output ceiling to -0.1. This will bring the whole overall volume up and also smooth out the entire frequency range to make the sound a little more balanced and a little more polished. As you can see, the bass over here is a little smashed, but we didn't exceed our 0 limit over here. The whole mix sounds louder, and as you can see, the EQ graph over here is a little more smoothed out than it was before. But take the limiter off once you've evaluated the differences, made broad adjustments, and brought your mix up to a better level. If you do your entire mix with it on and then take it off, your mix may sound dramatically different. So make your fine adjustments to your mix without the limiter. So how do you know what song to use? Well, 3 steps. 1, match your song up to a song of the same style and around the same tempo. If you're comparing your hip-hop song against an up-tempo club track or against the country song, it's not going to work. The sonic spectrum is just too far apart. So make sure the style and the tempos are close. 2, pick songs you know sound great. If it's on the radio, there's a good chance that's a pretty decent mix, but not always. And the last thing you want is to match your song up against a lousy sounding song. Been there, done that. So use your ears and make sure it's a great sounding mix to start off with before you start trying to match your mix against it. 3, customize. Use different songs for different components of your mix. If you really love the drums on this one song, but this other song has this big, wide, lush background vocals that you're going for, then switch back and forth as you attack each part of the mix. And once you're fairly satisfied with where you're now going with the mix, I suggest taking the limiter off. Mixing with other plugins across your stereo bus is a matter of preference. I personally prefer it. I will go over what I put across my stereo bus in another video. So that's basically how you use A-Being while mixing. It will bring your mix up to a higher level, give you the sonic spectrum of the genre you're going for, and it will improve your critical listening skills. Alright, so I hope you found this video valuable. Check out show notes and links in the description below, which will list all the gear and plugins mentioned. If you have any questions or comments or any valuable advice for the SKYE-SKYELAB community, we'd love to hear from you. So please post your comments down below because we all learn from each other here and we could start a discussion. So thank you so much for checking out this video, and for more videos like this, please subscribe below. Till next time, SKYE-SKYELAB Music is bringing you the best tips and tools for growing your music career. So play it louder, and we'll talk soon. Back in the day, before all this fancy computer stuff, we used to have to walk 10 miles barefoot in the snow to get to the recording studio. And we had these little plastic discs called CBDs. And then we had these things called blunts. Right, too much?